Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sonic Multiverse. Well, spooky month has come and gone. Leaves fell, seasons changed, allergies acted up, and of course, this is the time of year everyone likes to talk about monsters and the unexplained. So I thought, why not make a what if about the Werehog? I debated on where to put it, and eventually I decided to give Sonic his Werehog form all the way at the beginning. So without further ado, let's jump into what if Sonic became a Werehog earlier. Our story begins near the end of Sonic 1. Many of the events played out the same as they normally do. Sonic battled against the forces of Dr. Robotnik as he tried to roboticize South Island. To undo the damage already done by the mad scientists, Sonic would need to find South Island's 6 miracle gems, the Chaos Emeralds. Unfortunately, Dr. Robotnik also needed these emeralds to accomplish his ultimate goal, and upon learning that Sonic had collected them all before coming to Scrap Brain Zone, the mad genius hatched a plan. As the spiky blue hero reached the end of Scrap Brain Zone, he confronted the egg-shaped scientist. As Sonic skidded to a stop, he noticed a laser gate in between him and Robotnik. Come on, Doc. You know it'll only take me a few minutes to find a way around this. Why don't you just give up now? On the other side of the gate, a wicked grin emerged across Robotnik's face. Oh, and why would I ever do that? After all, you're exactly where I need you to be. A confused groan came from Sonic. Ugh, and what's that supposed to... But before Sonic could finish, a series of electrical devices sprung up from the ground. Before Sonic could even react, he was suddenly electrified, knocking the 6 Chaos Emeralds out of his hands. As Sonic lay on the ground, still being electrified from all ends, Robotnik casually walked into the room and picked up the 6 emeralds. Robotnik walked back into the control room, gleefully juggling the 6 miracle gems. I would like to thank you for your contribution to the Robotnik Empire. Now, farewell. With that, the madman suddenly leaped onto a pressure plate, forcing the ground beneath Sonic to give way. However, Sonic would eventually make his way back up through the factory and confront Eggman in the final zone. This is normally where the story would end. However, in this timeline, Robotnik was not willing to go down so easily. He had used his time wisely and prepared one last countermeasure to take down Sonic. He had incorporated the 6 Chaos Emeralds into the Sky Base, his ultimate battleship that he would use to burn down the base with Sonic in it. Chaos-imbued cannon shots began raining down upon Scrap Brain Zone, with Sonic barely dodging the infernos. Robotnik grew increasingly infuriated by the Hedgehog's persistence. So with one final effort, Robotnik fired all of the Chaos Energy in one precise strike at the heart of Scrap Brain Zone. Air-based cannon, fire! As the glowing beam of death came closer and closer, Sonic knew this was it. He had to get out of Scrap Brain, and with one precise motion, he pushed his body to its absolute limit, and as he did, the base erupted into a fireball. Sonic escaped the blast wave, but the shockwave still got him, sending him miles into the distance. From his airborne base, the Doctor cackled maniacally, believing that he had vaporized the blue hedgehog. However, as Eggman looked back at the remains of his base, he went cold. The sinkhole created from the blast was far deeper than Robotnik had estimated. He hadn't truly understood the power of the Chaos Emeralds, or what they would do to a target from such close proximity. The crater had dug deep into the earth, drilling almost to the center. But that wasn't what alarmed Robotnik. It was what was coming from the center. A magenta hue engulfed the area, as purple tentacles, nearly translucent, began ripping through the Earth's crust. And as Robotnik would soon learn, this wasn't exclusive to South Island. This was happening all over the world. Continents were being shifted apart, as this gargantuan beast began to rise. With the glowing magma of the Earth's center, it almost looked as if the devil himself had risen from hell. However, this was no demon. This was Dark Gaia, the physical embodiment of terror and despair. Although Ivo could not even comprehend what he was witnessing, he stood terrified at what he had just unleashed onto the world. Dark Gaia rose up and let out a large roar, one that could be heard all across the newly shattered world, and with that, he dissipated into purple smog across the planet. Elsewhere, on the edge of South Island, Sonic began to wake up. As Sonic looked into the horizon, he could see where the Earth had shattered. Wow, Eggman's really gone and done it this time. As Sonic continued to look around, he noticed a small creature next to him. It clearly wasn't a Flicky. It had crimson and white fur, along with some strange jewel on its chest. Sonic gently picked up the little guy.
Hey there, little guy. Are you okay?
The critter began to wake up, and as he stared into the eyes of his rescuer, he fled in terror. Please don't eat me, Mr. Monster Guy. I taste bad. Sonic was confused.
Mr. Monster Guy?
That's when Sonic finally took a look at his hand. His once iconic gloves were now replaced with large, gray, clawed fists. As Sonic looked across his body, he noticed almost everything about him had been changed. His once almost chibi frame was now far more bulky, and the belt of his shoes were now replaced with metal armaments with spikes protruding from them.
Jeez, things seem to be getting a bit ugly.
However, this was no time to worry about his physical appearance. He turned back to the creature.
Hey, you okay? Anything broken?
The critter now recognized Sonic's well-meaning demeanor and slowly approached him. I'm all right. Thanks for asking, Mr. Monster Guy.
Please, just call me Sonic. And you are?
Oh, well, I can't remember.
Well, I have a world to save, but maybe we can find out something about your memory along the way.
Really? Thanks, Mr. Sonic. As the two new friends spoke, the sun began to rise in the distance, and in a flash of light, Sonic reverted back to his base form. The pair were equally surprised by the transformation, but didn't have time to question it. They had memories and a world to restore, and with that, the pair set out. And this is where we're going to leave this what if for right now. How do you think the timeline will be changed with Sonic gaining the Werehog form this early? And more notably, how do you think things will change with Dark Gaia being released this early? Leave your theories in the comment section below. I'm ComicFan13, and I hope you have a good day. And happy Halloween!